Hello, class. My name is Jason Hurwell, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. So, what is ADPKD? Well, polycystic kidney disease is a genetic disorder that could cause many fluid-filled cysts to grow in your kidneys. Sometimes we could see simple kidney cysts that could form later on in life. However, with polycystic kidney disease, these cysts will change the shape of your kidneys, making them much larger. The most commonly seen form of this disease is the autosomal dominant form, which I'm going to be talking about. And this is seen in every 1 to 1,000 people. And this disease does not have the ability to skip generations, meaning that should someone inherit it, um, it has the potential to stay in that family and keep reoccurring. So, to kind of put this into a picture, this disease could cause thousands of cysts to grow on the nephron, and the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney, so very important. And over time, these cysts will increase the size of your kidneys and cause tissue damage. It does affect quality of life because many other organs will um, see the effect from the kidneys not properly functioning. And it can become life-threatening with the severe complications that are seen with it. So there are two main genes linked to causing autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease when mutated. The first one is PKD1, which is found on the short arm of chromosome 16. You can see to the picture to the right kind of shows this. So approximately 85% of ADPKD cases are caused by this gene mutation. And the function of this PKD1 gene is to provide instructions for the creation of a protein called polycystin 1. And this protein positions itself to interact with other proteins, carbs, and fat molecules outside of the cells. Another gene also seen with this mutation in genetic disease is the PKD2 gene, which is located on the long arm of chromosome 4, which you can see up top. And this exact location is 4q22.1. So this is a little commonly less seen in ADPKD cases as it's about a 15% mutation rate. And this gene codes for instructions making a protein called polycystin 2. And it most likely partners with polycystin 1 to assist in cell regulation and growth along with cell movement. So let's look at the epidemiology of this disease. It is the most common hereditary kidney disease, and it affects over 12 million people worldwide. And typically, there's 5 to 6,000 cases diagnosed every year. And there's not really a specific cohort that suffers the most from this disease. I'll kind of get into the stats about that next slide. Men and women are both susceptible, as well as all ethnic groups. I'll kind of get into who's more susceptible and who's less susceptible for that. So about 8 in every 10 people with ADPKD have that faulty PKD1 gene, which I just talked about, and a little less seen is the PKD2 gene, which about 2 in every 10 people have. Now, a mutation with PKD1, you'll often see bigger kidneys, and that's a result of more cysts growing at a faster rate. PKD2 is often slower to develop, which will cause a later onset of the symptoms and ultimately a delayed diagnosis. So, this disease ranks fourth as one of the lead causes of kidney failure. So, it is a very serious disease. Approximately 50% of people who inherit this disease will experience kidney failure by the age of 50. So usually there's 5 stages of this disease, and kidney failure is usually the last stage of that if it gets to that point, um, which is a common factor with ADPKD. So the common ages for diagnosis as well as for signs for complications occur anywhere from the ages of 30 to 60. Usually 60 years old and up is the normal range for diagnosis. It affects approximately 200,000 to 600,000 in the US, but only one fourth may know that they have this disease, being that the symptoms really don't occur till later on in life. So, the inheritance pattern of this disease is obviously autosomal dominant, which means the offspring has a 50% chance to inherit it, being that at least one of the parents have a faulty PKD1 or PKD2 gene. So with autosomal dominant diseases, the abnormal gene will always take over the matching gene. A small ranges of cases with this disease um, don't actually have to be inherited. They could randomly appear, which is known as de novo. They're just spontaneous. And these are seen in about 5 to 8% of ADPKD cases. Um, and de novo happens because of a mutation in the germ cell. So about 9 out of every 10 people with PKD have the autosomal dominant form. There's also other forms such as autosomal recessive. Um, a study that I looked into from Truven Health Market Scan claims that young women are diagnosed with ADPKD at nearly twice the rate of young men, perhaps due to the use of ultrasound in women during childbearing years. So obviously, with pregnant women and just going to the doctor for checkups, you might get an ultrasound, and this is one of the ways to diagnose ADPKD. So this is probably why younger women are um, diagnosed at a larger rate. Also, numerous studies, including bigger numbers of families, have shown that this inheritance can sometimes be completely by chance, so it's not always 50%. Um, so this kind of, with this disease and also a lot of other genetic kidney diseases, the inheritance kind of varies among individuals and families. Um, so I did find some stats on chronic kidney disease, which is a result of having ADPKD, because obviously one of the end stages of this disease is chronic kidney failure. So chronic kidney disease is more common in women than in men, which I had explained. It is also more common in non-Hispanic blacks than non-Hispanic whites or non-Hispanic Asians, and these are stats from the CDC from last year. Um, So why is CKD more common in these um, cohorts? That could be due to many factors, such as environment, lifestyle, so things you could probably control. Obviously, hereditary background plays a part. So once someone does acquire this genetic disease, there are signs and symptoms, but they usually don't appear later on. So this will usually include blood in the urine, pain in the sides or back, pain between the ribs and hips, and high blood pressure, which is hypertension. But the signs and symptoms can kind of be tricky because some of these might not mean you have the genetic disorder, which is why it's always good to get maybe genetic testing or ask your doctor about it. Um, with the more severe complications, this occurs later on in life, and the complications do range on what gene is mutated, but they could include kidney failure, cardiovascular disease, which um, has to do with abnormal heart valves. You could have a brain aneurysm, liver cyst, and also pancreas cyst. So, as I mentioned earlier, other organs in your body neighboring the kidney will start to see side effects. There is currently no cure for ADPKD. However, the treatment options can help to, reduce the severity of the disease. Simple things such as maintaining a healthy lifestyle, um, exercise, increased fluid intake, things that things that you could control that can make you live a better life. Um, Once a person starts nearing kidney failure or towards the end of that, there's usually either a complete kidney transplant or dialysis, which is a type of treatment that's used to rid the body of excess waste and things that a healthy kidney would do for you. So getting rid of toxins and filtering out things like that. There are trial medicines being looked at right now that could reduce the rate in which the kidneys grow and kind of slowing down the rate of the cyst growth. So hopefully these are things that will be introduced in the future for this disease. So just to give a visual, on the left, this is a chart of disease progression of ADPKD. On the left, we have kidney function, which is from 0 to 100%. And on the bottom, we have age, so about 15 years old to 60 and up. So about 15 years old, the normal kidney, your function is at 100%. And as you progress with ADPKD, more cysts start to grow and the kidney size increases. So there could be thousands of cysts on the kidney, small cysts. And as you can see, as age increases and the genetic disease progresses, your kidney function will, you know, start to slowly decrease over time. Um, so it could be, a life-threatening disease if it gets to that point of almost no kidney function if the proper action is not taken. On the right, we have a chart of long-term kidney function in this disease, and this is looking at GFR trajectory model. So GFR is a glomerular filtration rate, and glomerular filtration is one of the three functions of the nephrons, which is to basically just it filters out water and solutes within the blood, so it's obviously a very important function. And there's 5 different charts based on kidney volume, and they're comparing obviously the faulty gene of PKD1 versus PKD2. And what the study found is that the effect of the genotype on the rate of GFR decline is largely mediated by kidney size. So to put it in simpler terms, obviously as the kidney gets bigger, your functions of the nephrons, which is on the kidney, they're going to decrease. So GFR rate, that glomerular filtration, is going to slowly decline, whether you have PKD1 or PKD2. So just another picture of the inheritance. So as I mentioned earlier, it's an autosomal dominant disease. So you could have just one affected parent with one of the two faulty genes, and there's a 50% chance that the offspring will inherit it. And then, like I said, it does not skip generations, so it could be easily inherited as the generations go on. And to the right is just another picture of signs and symptoms that I had mentioned. So kidney stones are a big, common symptom with um, kidney diseases. You'll have infected or bleeding cysts, high blood pressure, reduced kidney function, a lot of abdominal discomfort, and as I said earlier, pain in the sides and the hips, bloating, kidney pain, and urinary tract infections with which go along with those kidney stones. So obviously it's a very serious disease, um, and the kidneys are a very important organ in our body that do a lot of things. and when they cannot function properly, it can make quality of life very tough, and the other organs in the body will not be able to perform as well. So, thank you guys for listening.